The following program is powered by Ride the Wave Media.
Introducing the best podcast in Utah, Radio Daybreak.
Yes, here we go. Another episode of Radio Daybreak, the best podcast in Utah. I'm here with Becks. No, wait a minute. That's not Becks over there. Becks is actually in Las Vegas with her real estate partners.
Lucky.
Yeah. Let me bring in my guest co-host this week, Courtney Pearl, the host of Practically Magic, right here on Ride the Wave Media.
That's
the
right.
Witch.
The Witch.
Or now Celtic Priestess, right? Is that what we're going by now?
Or I have a lot of titles. It's hard to narrow it down, but I'll take it all. Witch, Celtic Priestess, your average, everyday Daybreak Witch.
Yes, everything but not Becks. So
No,
Courtney is
I
here,
can't
not
fill those
Becks.
shoes.
Right. Hey, she's down. I saw a video she posted. She's down there and she had, I think, Tony Robbins or somebody down there doing, getting them all amped up. That guy, he's the firewalk guy, right? Is that Tony Robbins? Is that who I'm thinking about?
No idea.
Motivated guy. Huge motivator. But she's down there
Oh, yeah.
hoarding it up.
She knows all the best people. She's
I know,
so cool.
right? I know. But listen, I've been checking out your show a lot lately, and I love it. I'm digging it. Like, you've got me hooked. It must be a spell. Did you put a spell on people out there already?
I do. It's just called manifesting. I manifested listeners, and they appeared.
I love. You know what? I'm gonna put this out there because people got to hear this. But the other day I sent you a text, and I saw you posted on Instagram, so that's why I'll bring it up. I don't want to throw a personal conversation out there, but it was professional. But
It was funny.
I can see where all the listeners come from for all of our shows on Ride the Wave Media. Courtney is the only one. This breaks down by countries, by states, whatever you want to look at. Courtney's the only one that has listeners in unknown, parts unknown.
The ether. I have listeners from the ether showing up. I channel them.
I love it. I saw that and I was like, it reminded me of the old. You probably don't watch pro wrestling, but there used to be wrestlers that would come out and they'd be from parts unknown. It was like the Undertaker. You've probably seen that guy. He was from parts unknown, but that's what I picture out there is guys like the Undertaker or warlocks and witches out there that look like that, listening to Practically Magic. I love it. I think it's funny.
It's hilarious. And it's part of the work that I do is working in the other world, As a Celtic priestess, you can't do the work without knowing about the Fae and the world where they come from. And so it totally makes sense. It's absolutely
For real.
right in line.
That's what I love though, is you're so educated on the topic. Where did you get the education at again? From
It just grasping everywhere that came into my view and sight. I just went, ooh, that looks interesting. I want more of that. There's no degree other than like a degree in Celtic studies, which I've looked into.
Yes.
But
Yes.
other than that, it's kind of just your personal journey. And I'm a left-brained and right-brained equal person. So I need the logic and I need the creativity. And
I love it. I love it. In Star Trek world, that's like what, part Vulcan and something else. I think that's they're logic. That was Spock.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I love it. I'm a self-proclaimed nerd. That's me.
Yeah. I'm
And
not a Trekkie per se, but I'm more in the Star Wars realm. And so I like to think of myself as like the Jedi Master. I like to think of
there you
myself
go.
as trying to, go that route.
I love that. That's what you, from now on, I'm going to say that that Courtney you're doing Jedi mind tricks. Like that's what you got. That's part of it. So it's part of the magic with a K. Magic with a K. That's Practically Magic with a K. That's her show. Man, you gotta that's all I'm gonna say about it. I saw something else today that you did. I saw something I love this morning, and I think you do it maybe daily over on your Instagram. It's at Prism.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Prism _healing?
Yes. The Instagram is _. The
That's
website
right.
is that. So, yeah.
That's right.
Instagram Prism _healing.
So over there, Courtney does I guess daily card reading, tarot card reading.
Oh, I wish it was daily. I'm trying to do it
Okay.
as often as possible. But yeah, I'd like to work up to where it's daily. That would be cool.
We got to get that going. You know what? Why don't we do one right now? You got a deck by you? I know you probably got 10 decks right there, right?
Always. Yeah.
Let's do a quick reading for we're both members of the Daybreak business community. We meet, we have our networking lunches. We meet at Ma's Pizza during the month of February. Honestly, if you're listening to this right now, today only, February 28th, Ma's Pizza. We're there. We're there. Today's our last day at Ma's. And I think we switch over to somewhere else next week. But you know what I want to do? I want to do a card reading, a tarot card reading for what's in store for Daybreak, for the small business owners in Daybreak.
Yeah. What does the small business owners of Daybreak need to know? So I'm going to take us through a past, present, future spread and see what that has to tell us. And so I am doing this with the Witch's Wisdom Tarot deck, just in case anybody wants to look that up and wants to know. And the past.
Witch's Wisdom. Witch's Wisdom. Love that. All right.
Yeah. I'm pulling this out, and it says, for the past card, we're looking at the Seven of Air. It's a picture of feathers hanging on a string, and there's a beautiful landscape behind it. And
Seven of Air, yeah.
We have so far in the community been really focused on intellectual, like getting off the ground, kind of hitting up those obstacles that have come in our way and growing and communicating with each other. And there's been a lot of that going on. Like that's kind of been the building of what we've been doing, right? We've been like communicating with each other and like growing this little community, which I love, by the way. I think it's so fun to like get together and be like, I know all these people now. We're like a real community.
It's fun, right? Like I went to the grocery store the other day and I saw Laura from the Empowered Markets, from the Daybreak Market. What is it? The farmers markets. I saw her and I'm like, I'm starting to recognize people out in the community because we've built ourselves up. It's cool. I love it. I love it.
I was at coffee the other day and saw Carla from Lift Cake Parties, and I was like, cool. I'm like, I love that.
I was grilling on the porch the other night, and I heard, and I look around, and it was Carla riding by my house, and she was she stopped and talked. Same. I love this. Like we've got this fun community that we're building here, and it's amazing. So that's great. I love that. Seven of Air. That was the past card.
Yeah. In the past, it's the Seven of Air. And then moving into the present, we have the Six of Earth. So this is kind of bringing it from intellectual property, from like all these ideas and networking, and bringing it into actual physical, like we're actually physically getting on the ground, like doing the groundwork, right? And I love the picture here because it's like this little pool of water. Oh, yeah. And it has all these like little lizards. If I count them, there's probably 6 of them because it's the Six of Earth. And they're all like running to gather at the water hole, like to get their water. So that's kind of like the actual physical, presentation of all of us gathering and like drinking from the same water and collaborating and like putting that from ideas into actual physical use.
That's great. Right? That's great. That's where we're at now. That's the present.
That's the present.
Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about tarot cards. I'm not that familiar. Just a little bit. I'm not the expert here, so that's why I'm asking you. But when you say Seven of Air, Six of Earth, are those standard names across the board for tarot cards? It's just different pictures or something, or?
That's a really good question. So it depends on the deck. Like the what a lot of people call the original artwork. That's like when it was actually published for the first time as a set artwork. It's called the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And that has very particular symbology, very particular, like the colors, the pictures, everything has a meaning. Everything is, it's very specific.
Cool,
and
got it.
Tarot has the 4 suits. So when I say air, there's like the suit of air. There's the suit of earth. In the original, it's not air. It's the wands or the pentacles or the swords or the cups. And so those are the 4 suits. And so every tarot deck that has come out like since then, it's kind of the author's creative genius that they get to create whatever theme they want. So there's almost a tarot deck about absolutely anything you can think of. I'm pretty sure they have a Disney villains tarot deck.
They do. I saw it. I was at one of the stores. I was one of the local stores. You work at one of the stores around here, right? Which one is it? It's the
Yeah, Synchronicities in Sandy. I do energy
there you
work
go.
there on Wednesdays. So yeah, they have their own. They just got a new stock of decks actually, which is really
Ooh.
awesome. I bought a new
I
deck.
actually found a deck for my wife going back to the Trekkies, and it's literally Star Trek. It's the Star Trek characters from the Next Generation. I was like, how do you not just Star Trek characters, but the Next Generation? It was a specific show. I'm thinking, if they've got this, they literally have a deck for everything. It's wild. All right, let's get back to we're at the future card, right?
Yeah, future card. And this is interesting because it's kind of like going back. So it's like we had the 7 of air, we had the 6 of earth, but the future is showing that there is some like real big things brewing, but they're not coming into fruition just yet. Because it shows like these 2 bears and they're hibernating like in a cave, like in the earth.
Ooh.
And it's almost kind of a winter feel, like hibernating in winter. And this just goes to show me that although a lot of these like cool things have been happening where like small businesses are getting together, there's like a lot of growth and collaboration. It's just awesome energy going on there. There's something on the horizon that is like even bigger and is really going to take us into like next level.
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's like where the sleeping giant is down there. Just
Yeah.
we're resting
Yeah.
up. Like we're ready and we're coming out and we're gonna be hungry. Like that's what it is. We're gonna be hungry.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I like
See,
that.
you're
Like,
a card reader. That's exactly
Yeah.
how you read cards. You just
Hey,
go
I-
like, what is this card telling me? Like there's an intuitive, just looking at the artwork, looking at the feel of it and just being like, what do I think this means? That's what an intuitive card reader does.
I have a lot of fun doing this. I actually came to one of your events at Biscott's. It was Tarot for Tips on a Saturday back January maybe. That event is pretty cool. It's you and the Fresh King Benjamin. You guys usually get down there and read tarot cards. When's the next one of those coming up? You got one of those coming?
Well, actually, we were just talking about that. Sarah at Daybreak Treasures Boutique is kind of our event manager. She manages like when we're going to be doing those. And we were thinking of maybe changing it up a little bit and doing a Sunday.
Oh,
So I can't say for sure exactly what day that's going to be. It was going to be March 10th, but there is a conflicting other event going on that day because Live Daybreak has their mother and son event. And
I saw that. Live Daybreak gets the mother and son arcade event. Is that the one or is there another one?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's an
going to be
arcade
cool.
event. Yeah. So I signed up for that with my sons, so I won't be able to do it that day. So we're thinking about maybe the 11th, but I can't say for sure yet. So keep
Got it.
looking for that because that's coming
Keep
up.
looking for that. Let me ask you too. Let me just ask you a point blank question because a lot of people out there don't know what's a proper tip. Like, I'll put you on the spot because what's a good? If I sit there with you for what anywhere from minutes to an hour, maybe.
Mhm.
I think me and Ben sat for 45 minutes. It doesn't seem that long, but by the end of it, you're like, whoa, that went by quick. But there's a lot of info.
Yeah.
That's time. That's time. And I mean, it's tarot for tips, but what's that worth? Like, what's that? You know what I mean? Like, that's a tough question, but what do you think is a proper tip?
Well, that's a good question. So for private readings, when someone books a reading with me, I try to make them 30 minutes. Sometimes they go longer, but I'm doing a lot bigger spread and it's very specific for whatever they've come to me for. So I charge $25 for those. But when I do a Tarot for Tips event, I'm really just doing it for the exposure, for the practice, so that's worth a lot to me just to be there doing it. And
Mhm.
so that's why I'm just a pay as you can. Like it's literally whatever you feel like it's worth it to you. So I just love doing it so much that I just put my jar out and I just go, pay what you can.
I love that. And I didn't have any problem. There's a big problem with tipping, not just in America, but just all over the place. So that's why I asked it. But I didn't have any problem with the tips because I felt like I got a lot of value out of what you guys had to offer. So Tarot for Tips, you guys got to get down there. Check out Courtney's Facebook or Instagram, all that stuff. She'll have that. But you do have another event just coming up Thursday this week, right? February 29th, the extra day we get. Bonus day.
The leap day. Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect time for that because it's like, this is not a day we have very often. So do something a little out of the ordinary. Do something that maybe you wouldn't have normally tried. And my event is going to be perfect for that. What I do, I've been doing these once a month for a year now. They're called Healing Through Art workshops. And basically, it's the healing emotional process that I do with clients, but I took it and I expanded it into a group session. And so we start out with a guided meditation. We're looking at inner child work. We're pulling forward the subconscious. And then I get to facilitate the clients are painting out emotions. So it does not require any artistic skill whatsoever. We are not painting a landscape. We're not drawing something. We're literally just feeling our feelings and painting them out. And we get to play with the paint. We're like children again. It's super fun. And then when that's set aside, we get to do like a guided journaling activity, let the paint dry, and then we finish up our painting with a meditative kind of clearing. And we get to replace all of those emotions that we no longer want to hold in our bodies, and we replace it with something more positive and more aligned with who we want to be. So it's an incredible process. It's something I'm very proud of. I kind of adapted it and brought it forward and birthed it. I have been just absolutely thrilled with what has come of it when people come to that session and people who are like, I'm not an artist. I can't paint. I don't know what I'm doing. And then they leave and I go, oh my gosh, you painted that? Like you painted that.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So
I love that. So how long does this take? Just about a 2-hour process?
Yeah. So a typical process is an hour and a half. And so because it's a class, a group session, we do it in 2 hours. So it's from 6 to 8 in the evening. We do it after hours when Biscott's is closed. So we get the cafe to ourselves. It's a very peaceful environment. Sometimes the moon is shining right out the window.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Music is playing. We just make it really, really lovely. And it's a perfect night for couples to do for a date night, whatever.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah.
That's a cool idea. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you sign up for this event?
So I have the event on my website and I'll have a link for that. And so you can go to my website where the events tab is. It's also right there on the homepage, so you can't miss it, but it'll say RSVP and you can sign up and get your ticket.
And then you got another event too, right? Don't you do a workshop for children, like an art workshop for kids? I've been hearing about this.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Oh my gosh. So I was an elementary school teacher. So art and teaching kids is one of my favorite things in the whole world. So I adapted this into a workshop for kids. So next month on March 15th, we're going to be doing a workshop that I call Heart Smart Art. It's an immersive class for kids and their parents to do together. It's at Biscott's again, and we just get to learn about big feelings and how to express those big feelings using colors. This next month, we're going to be painting rocks as our art experience, and I always have a story time, activities. It's really a lot of fun, and we're kind of learning about things.
And that's at Biscott's as well?
Yes.
I love that. Both of those sound amazing. Like, that sounds like a good time. So once again, it's Healing Through Art, the Emotional Process Workshop. That's February 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Biscott's Cafe right here in Daybreak. That's 6172 West Lake Avenue right here in Daybreak. That's the same location for the Heart Smart Art. I love that. Fun. The Heart Smart Art, an immersive emotional intelligence workshop for kids and parents. So in other words, don't just come down there and dump your kids off because you're not the babysitter. The parents got to stay. Yeah. Let's get that clear, right?
Because Biscott's would let us do that kind of operation there. So I'm being very clear about it. It's for parents and their kids to do together. And it's really something you're going to want to do with your kids because it's super fun. I
love that. That's right. So if you want to sign up for this, you got to go to prism-healing.com. And at the top of the page, you'll see events. Click on that and you'll see her events coming up. You can RSVP right there, sign up. Anything else, Courtney? Like you're at Instagram again is at prism_healing. What else you got going on? You got a lot.
You can find me on TikTok. You can find me on Facebook. I'm just working on trying to build my social media presence. So I'm just trying to, give as much information out to my followers as possible.
I love it. Appreciate you coming on with us this week. This is Just Blaine. And Becks, she's out there partying it up in Vegas. So I didn't want to bother her. I actually did text her. She's like, "Oh, jump on." I'm like, no. You just
Have fun
have fun. Just be you, Becks.
and get warm.
Yeah, she'll be back next week. Next week's going to be a big one. We got the International Women's Day show coming up. That's going to be a huge show. It's going to be fun. Until then, if you need anything from us, it's at Radio Daybreak pretty much across the board. We'll see you guys next week.
Super fun. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Courtney. Let me